So welcome to Bonnie's Designs. This is a Sunday stream for colouring in my colour book with Bible inspired images and words, and also I'm going to be using working in my creative Bible. I feel a bit guilty because I've been neglecting excuse me. So I've actually found a better way with the watercolouring pencil, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. So this will be an experiment of just how well. I think when I did the thing, I don't think my pen actually went through, did it? I can't remember now. That was my design. I think it was in pencil. Excuse me. I'm just looking for something and I forgot what it was now. Perhaps I should have. Perhaps I should have had a quick look before. So I'm going to have to be careful because things will smudge. But this is an experiment, and if it works in here, then it is actually going to work anywhere. So just bear with me, I'm just doing 3 things at once, and let's have a look at this. Oh, very good. Right, so in theory, if we tear one of these in half, sorry, I'm miles away, so I'm doing 2 things at once. That should hopefully give us 2 pages, 2-page protectors. And if it's the ugly side, we can put that in the middle, and that's going to protect it. And I'm just going to put that underneath for the moment, just so that I can just keep off the edge. So I'm just actually going to shut that for a second, so I can lift this up and show you how I store pencils in my art bag. So this is my Derwent art bag, and it has a big pocket on the front that you can get your phone in if you want to. Oops, I'm trying to charge mine up. But mine is truly stuffed to the rafters. But it has a lot in it. It has everything I need for my colouring, including my new requisition of Derwent pastel pencils. Now they are not actually in, they're not fastened in at these sleeves for a particular reason. So I'll turn those around, and my bag is actually on a slope. So I've got my original pastel pencils, which were, oh, there's a pocket here first. So I've got all my, I've got my blade, but it's protected. I've got my blending tools and my sharpening guard, and a little fluffy brush to brush things away, and a couple of blenders and a water brush, which I don't actually use because it's too wet the way I work. I've got pastel pencils, and this is an original set I've had for a long time, many years, and they were, I haven't used them. My daughter found them and decided to use them last year for her college, her school O-level. But they are a portrait set, so they're very pale and very pale. So they're just out of sync because I threw them in here. So this is a new set of the Derwent pastels. So you've got all the vibrant, brilliant colours. And the beautiful thing about here, very much like the Derwent pastel pencils, is what the colour is at the end is what colour you get. Whereas the ink tends, because they are so intense, the colour isn't normally quite visible. But these, because this is almost pure pigment with not a lot of binder, this is a pastel in a pencil form. So I have the full set of those, which leads to the Derwent watercolour pencils, which goes in next. And there's the full range of those. And then I have the Derwent Ink Tense pencils, and they fit on this ring binder, but I haven't put them in because I've actually used them. I will do when I go away. So I've got my little handy tray, which is the top metal tray, which I find quite handy. And I have some paintbrushes if I want to watercolour quite dry. And I do have a little pack of baby wipes, but they seem to have disappeared, so I've got to use the bigger baby wipes. And these, the last set is the Graphitint. And because my arthritis has got worse, these are the only things I'm going to keep. I may keep the pastels to use in outside, but the pastels in their original form are very dusty and I have asthma. Now, probably outside I might get away with them, but we'll see what happens this year. So I've got my pastel pencils, and what I normally do is just flick these out and put them on the desk. But I wanted to see if I could get everything in there for when I go away to do model railway shows. I do have a drawing pen in there if I want to add or delete anything, add to it. This is a little bit dangerous. I might just get, because it's actually a scalpel blade, but you can see it, so it's okay. And I've got the big blending tool, the beautiful series 608 Sable Winsor Newton brush, but I won't be doing watercolours, I don't think. My little pot for my water, because I find that handy, and my blending tools. So actually I don't need the water pot, that's when I use the water. So I've got my blending tools, my sharpening guide. So this is all I need to draw extra in my Bible pages and to colour. So I can zip that up and I can put that to the side, and if I want to I can just zip that up. This is handy because, I mean, you could actually put the tools in here, which probably during the day I would do, to keep the tools in there. So it's just handy to have them handy. There is a Velcro tag on there, so that's quite good. And I possibly could use them like this, and then I would know that this is going to be extremely safe. And that's the guard. It can go in there. And this is full of, it's a refillable rotary isograph rotary pen, and it is a 0.25, and it has permanent Indian ink, which means that I've been able to add extra sketching or extra things to a page before I start colouring. So I have my little pot here, and I normally use a clean baby wipe, or even as long as it's a clean baby wipe and it's dried, you can just tip water in if you want to. You just want it damp. And I found a little water pot as well, so that probably will go in there as well. So I'm going to do a pencil one first, and then I will water it and see how well it works. So my little bag now can just sit next to me. But because I'm going to put them all in here now, and it stops them floating about too much. And I use the damp baby wipe to clean the end, so that when I'm using from dark to light colours. And oops, oh, I dropped the phone, which wasn't a good idea. I've sprained my wrist, which is not good. Right, that's charging quite nicely. I'm downloading videos and I'm doing all sorts of other things. So the pastel pencils sit next to me and I flip. I flip and read the colours, so I try to keep them the right way around, just so that it's easier to kind of use. And I haven't used them for so many weeks, so I haven't really got used to them. So I'm sure when I get used to them, I'll be able to think, oh, I know what these colours mean. And the Derwents are quite easily found because the colours are here and they're bright. But I've left them in colour order as they were in the tin. And I find that easier. And they are numerical as well, so that's a bit easier. So they go from lemons to oranges to pinks to reds, pinks, purples to blues to teal colours. And that's not in the right order, are they? To greens, and then on the other last side is greens, fawns, browns and greys. So they're actually in quite a nice, neat order. So it's almost like a palette. And you go around in a palette. So I'm going to pop those onto here. And I found a page that I wanted to colour. So it's quite nice to actually read what you're going to colour, but just because I find this more personal, I'm just going to colour this very quickly. Just to see if we had I had the... I just want to practice with these pencils actually on the paper to see if we can do what we want to do. So we could start with just a little bit of colour. And I blow my pastel away because I then use a baby wipe at the end of the day just to clear the dust. And I do have asthma, but they're not too bad. Obviously, if you inhaled everything, it would be, but I just wanted to see if these would kind of smudge onto a page without damaging it. And the lovely thing is you use the tiniest amount of colour. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Let me just see if I can. Just move that slightly to one side. Could be a barcolet, so apologies. And you're just scratching the tiniest amount of colour because they're very, very soft. So they don't need a lot of pressure to kind of get a little bit of colour on there. And just see if we can get some shadowy areas in there. And that seems to be quite nice because there's absolutely nothing on the other side at all. And I don't know where my eraser is. I've made a mess now. I don't know where I've put it. We could have some quite, in fact, I think I actually like this. I might have to go with this set. Got some really nice pastel colours. It's a geranium lake, which is quite nice. We could. And I did use a chocolate, so I've got to be a bit careful that I clean the end. So I think I'm going to do all the bigger ones. This shade. So I just wanted to show how easy it was to colour in. And not sure about the, maybe spectrum orange would be quite nice. So that's quite nice. Sorry that we were going to be a bar collector. Thank you for watching.